That is the process of creative mind, skills, and the realization.
Is there any limit of the height?
The wind is very critical when you're designing a tall building. Okay, so do I have to write it now or I can write it later?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Hassan, it's a pleasure to be here with Gensler, and one of the most famous thing is vertical architecture. And here we can see your flagship project, Shanghai Tower. I want to talk about the practice of tall buildings. What is it nowadays? Still symbol of power, prestige, or why do cities build tall buildings?
One of the reasons that the big cities and the mega cities build tall buildings is two reasons. One is, of course, the lifestyle revolution, and the other one is the urban land premium is very rare and very precious. So prestige is also very important for some people, but from our perspective, how the tall buildings are seen, should be seen as vertical communities and vertical cities that are extended beyond their plot boundaries into the communities.
Is there any limit of the height?
Technologically speaking, right now there are building design proposals, and Gensler has been part of that as well. And we're building and looking at designs of the tall buildings going 2 kilometers tall and beyond. So yes, to your answer, to your question, yes, we can go tall, but then the question will be, do we have to, or why do we have to, and what is the ground for us to do that? Gensler as a firm, we don't do projects based on the ego of a single person. We do things in a scientific way. So the wind is very critical for the designing of the tall building, especially in a city like Shanghai. Some places have which come under the earthquake zone, seismic zones. They have to look at it differently. But Shanghai, being a coastal city, is prone to typhoons and high wind. So the wind is very critical when you're designing a tall building. So it means the shape of the building has to be such that it reduces the wind impact on the building. We have tuned mass damper. We have systems in place that keeps the building stable at the top. So they move against the direction of the wind to keep the building stable. And if you don't have the tuned mass damper or the sound systems to control the stability of the tower, you'll feel a little bit dizzy at the top. Number one aspect of the Shanghai Tower is that it's deeply rooted into the culture of the Shanghai, because the culture is invisible. Culture is how people behave, live, and work together. If you look at the authenticity of the Shanghai Tower, is like Shanghainese people love their backyards. They love open spaces. They love the parks. You go to park, you see people exercising, people doing yoga, and you can look at the small apartments, the balconies. People will keeping small plants everywhere. There's a fascination and love for open spaces and the nature. So Shanghai Tower, if you look at it, every zone is a community in itself. So you will, if you have the chance of going into the Shanghai Tower, you will realize that there's an atrium in every zone. An atrium, there are 21 atriums in Shanghai Tower, and atriums are your community garden spaces, and that block, that zone of total 15 floors is your community. So every community has the backyard park. Cities are horizontal. You live in the city, you have a backyard in the city, you've got a park in the city, you have a shop in the city. So Shanghai Tower is done with this idea that every zone is a district, is a suburb, and every suburb has its amenity, every suburb has its open space, relaxation space, and then how everything comes together and how it appears. Again, the shape, which is like slightly rotating infinitely towards the sky, represents the infinite growth for the city of the Shanghai and the China. So that's what it represents, infinity, infinite growth. And the shape that you see is done with the 120-degree twist. So, and then you see the notch in the building. The notch is there because as the wind is hitting the building, it confuses the wind, and the wind, instead of hitting the building, it goes away. So it means you can reduce the sizes of your structure, less load. Structures become lighter, and we save 58 million US dollars just at the structural cost because of the right shape. Your eyes have to be trained through your mind. So the emphasis has to be that you train your mind to think creatively, to think in a different way. And every time your mind thinks differently, your eyes sees the same way. So as a creative person, it's very important for us to reinvent ourselves every 5 years or 7 years or 10 years to stay fresh and young as a designer and as a creative person.
How to work with creative people, because creative people, they are sensitive. How to manage them?
You are most creative when you're most open to anything and everything, because it's not about you as an individual person, it's only about the idea. If within the room, the best idea should always win the day, and it doesn't matter where it comes from. So you foster the trust and within the team, and that people are safe to express their opinions, and they should not worry that whether their ideas are stupid or crazy or not real. You want to create a safe environment where everyone expresses themselves, and then you get the positive outcome. And it gives the sense of ownership to the whole team. So everyone has the ownership. You have to be authentic in what you do. You have to inspire your teammates, and you learn from your teammates. So you create that environment of learning where the egos are not critical, the ideas are critical.
How to unite people to serve for one goal? Is it possible among creative people? How do you think?
I think it's possible, like as I said, and that's what we've been doing. I think the trust and making the environment safe for people to express themselves is very important to that. So when I was a junior designer or when I was a mid-level designer, I never liked somebody hovering over my head and telling me exactly what to do. So you give them the freedom to think within a certain parameters. So they grow and they think, and you help them to grow and think. So it's a combination of coaching and mentoring to grow the future leaders. So once you finish one project, you realize what mistakes you've made, and you build on those mistakes to correct them and grow further.
To realize mistakes, do you have a mentor?
So you need a coach when you're junior, and as you're becoming and assuming more leadership roles within your career and within your life, you still need mentors, the people who inspire you. And I think I've had some great mentors all my life, and I still talk to them.
What was the most memorable lesson from one of your mentors, which
I think
stays
one of the
with you?
mentors once told me that, look, you're hired to grow other people. So make other people successful. When you make other people successful, when you give opportunities to other people, when you are speaking on their behalf, there's a trust and there's a safe environment that is created, that they will put heart and soul onto the work and help you grow further. Their great work will make you look good. Your whole team will be behind you. This is great advice. So don't think about yourself. Help other people grow, and they will help you grow. Mind always comes first, and then the craft of learning and drawing comes second, and then the implementation in the built environment comes third. And so that is the process of creativity: mind, skills, and the realization.
What will the city of the future look like?
I think the cities of the future will be built around human connectivity and the user experience, how people connect with people, how we can create an environment which creates a fine balance between the nature, human, and the technology.
And yesterday I got a notebook and I decided that with every guest I have interview, I want to ask them to write me some advice, some note, some wish. Could you please?
Okay, so do I have to write it now or I can write it later?
Please.
Okay. Okay, so what I would say is a lot of things that have been taught to me by my mentors that they have told me is that I would say the first thing would be that you need to follow your passion and be authentic and be yourself. Make other people successful. If you make other people successful, rest assured that positive energy will come back to you in many folds. But when you make other people successful, you become more successful in the process because it elevates you both mentally and spiritually in a way that you're not falling into the trap of being just looking after yourself. It means you're a person who's willing to give more, and in giving more we get more. So that's a lot of things that I learned.
Totally agree. The more you give, the more you get.